Yeah, that's the one. So if I stand in front of it and talk, is that coming through loud enough? No? Yeah, I'm standing in front. Can you not see me? I should be standing. Oh, we're in kind of, maybe we haven't got a great reception. Okay. Can you see me? Oh, that doesn't worry me, as long as I'm doing things right at my end. Well, the background noise is very loud. Is there any way that I can crank up the volume on this unit, I wonder? But once we get going, am I very, very quiet? I'm just wondering whether the microphone is not feeding the unit, whether it's just the phone itself. No, it's not everything. Well, the problem will be if I plugged it into the wrong bloody cable. Yeah, hang on, just a moment, I'll put the phone down. Alright, so with me, I'm talking right against the microphone, so you think that's not really going through the microphone? You there? Yeah, so I'm right against the microphone, so you don't think the sound is actually going through the microphone? Yeah, that's what I'm wondering, whether the phone is actually doing the sound rather than the microphone. I'll have to ring Michael to find out whether I've got a setting wrong somewhere. Okay, but keep it going. Keep it going. Yep. Okay. Thanks. Bye. Yeah, sorry, I need to talk about I've got something live. Issue where it sounds as though it's not going through the microphone, it's just the phone picking up the sound. Is there something I need to set? Or have I simply got a wire plugged into the wrong thing? No, but I'm not using the splitter, so there's an open end on the splitter. I'm going down the other cable with the big fat pin and plug on it. Yeah, no, it is. Yeah. Yeah, well, there's a little white headphone set symbol. Yeah. He was just saying the sound of me was so faint and the background noise was so big. it sounded as though maybe the phone itself was doing the sound rather than the microphone. Yeah. Yep. Yep. Yeah. So I'm plugging a Negra into goes into the Niagara, that comes in with the Niagara. Is it happening, is it?
Sorry?
Is it happening? Okay, you still there? So what I've got is microphone goes into Niagara, out of the headphone socket it goes up into the live view unit.
Yeah, okay.
Can we get the mic?
Yeah. Alright, and so I can then, I guess, crank up the volume to make it go louder into the unit, can I? Or does it
Maybe
not?
get you, yeah. Does that mic come out this way?
Leave one automatic. Yeah.
Yeah. I'll make the volume go higher.
Hey?
What else?
Yeah.
You need any other result? Got any other result?
Can we get the mic on?
Okay, let's have a look. Okay, let's have a look. Look, that's going to be as good as it gets. I'm just going to...
Below my camera there.
Excuse me, ladies and gentlemen, could we all...
No, it's all happening. Can you tell
Hello,
Nina it's all
Jesse.
happening?
Excuse me,
I've got to go.
we all assemble...
Can you tell Nina that she needs to get in?
Once again, ladies and gentlemen,
So MCR and Nina need to know that it could be happening now.
gather around everybody.
Bye.
We have an announcement to make. Walk this way.
Can you get you to stand behind all this stuff?
Yeah, well, sorry, Tom.
Is it right?
I wasn't quite sure how far the lead would go. Yeah.
Yeah, loosen this thing, bring it down.
Come over there, sorry. At least one skip over that. Skipping right.
Unscrew one piece of that. Grab like that. The other way. Yeah, and then let it down and unscrew it back up.
Roll up, roll up. Come on, everybody. Ladies and gentlemen, can I introduce you to the new Mayor of Auckland, Mr. Bill.
Thank you very much, Hutch, and I can see some of my supporters behind all the TV cameras there. Could I first thank you all for coming along and celebrating with me today for this milestone, I think, for the future of Auckland and certainly a milestone for my career. I want first and foremost to thank the people of Auckland for putting their confidence in me. This promote our program through the Auckland Council and a strong mandate to work with central government to address the challenges that we face as a community here in Auckland. I've got a series of thank yous that I think are really important. My first and my biggest thank you is to all of you here today who worked so hard to make this possible. I think you should give all of you a round of applause for the effort that you made. Thank you very much for that. For the people that put up the hoardings, the people that delivered the pamphlets, the people that worked on the fundraising, and the people that were out there working with me to persuade Auckland that we needed this change in direction. Can I acknowledge in particular my campaign committee? And there are two people that led that committee, David Lewis, our director, and Narupa George, our campaign manager. David and Narupa, thank you so much. You really put the effort in. You were there to support me at every stage. And there are a whole lot of people that I have to acknowledge. Hutch, who introduced me, and his campaign group for the work that they did. Can I acknowledge, I can see Rob Fasher looking through there that did the work on the hoardings, Tracy and Raymond, Richard, I know I've got Karen and Barry and Shale, Eric, for everybody that made that contribution. Can I also acknowledge the other candidates in the mayoral race? This was a very demanding race. I think we did about 60 joint candidate meetings. You know, if one of the candidates had fallen over, one of the others of us could have stood up and finished their sentence for them. That's how regular the meetings were. But I want to acknowledge all of the other candidates and the spirit in which they conducted this contest. We should be grateful that there are men and women that are prepared to put themselves forward to run for office to serve their community, and I want to acknowledge all of those who ran with me for the mayoral race. Yeah, let's have a round of applause for them. For the successful councillors, I can't give you that information, but it'll be up on the web very shortly. Congratulations to the members of the governing body and to the local board and to the district health boards and to the licensing trusts. That's really important. They are people that I will be working closely with, because it's not one person who will transform our city into a better place. It will be all of us working collectively. I want also to thank people who are very, very close to me, and that is for their forbearance, for their love, for their tolerance and their support. To my wife Mary, to my kids who are here today, Chris, Karen and Sarah, to my two daughter-in-laws who are here today, and to the new grandchild who will be born with a very good Mayor of Auckland in about a month's time. Thank you very much, and I love you. Thank you for your support for me. We have finished the campaigning, but now the real job begins. And I think the first priority that I'll have as Mayor is to work to restore the confidence of the people of Auckland in their council. 15% trust and satisfaction in our council is a failure. We have to do better than that. We need a council that's more efficient, more effective, more responsive, more accountable, more transparent. And I will be setting out to create such a council to govern New Zealand, to govern Auckland for the future. Can I say that there are also some huge challenges out there? You know, when I talk to the Auckland City Missioner and he tells me that within a couple of kilometres of the Sky Tower there are 179 Aucklanders sleeping rough on the street, we know we have to change the way things happen in this city. When I talk to families who are paying 50 to 60% of their rent, of their income in rent, I know that that's not a fair go. When I talk to young people on an average wage and they tell me they can never afford to buy a home in Auckland, we know that we have a housing crisis. When we go out on our roads and we spend hours congested in traffic, when we suffer the frustration and the loss of time and the loss of productivity, we know we have a massive challenge ahead of us to solve Auckland's transport woes. These are not things that Auckland can do on its own, but I look forward genuinely to working in partnership with central government so that we can tackle these problems that affect people who are constituents at both levels of government. We cannot keep on putting off finding the solution to those problems. We cannot leave it for another generation. We need to take the decisions, the tough decisions now, and even if we take the tough decisions now, you know that it's not simply months, it's years, it's terms of government before we can properly resolve those problems. But let's get out there and let's sort those problems out now, because our commitment is for a better Auckland. Our commitment is for a city where talent and enterprise will thrive. Our commitment is for protecting, sustaining and enhancing our environment. Our commitment is to a city that is a great place to live, to learn, to work and play in. And I give you that commitment. To the people of Auckland who have put their trust in me, thank you for giving me your confidence. I will work hard to honour that confidence. Let's go out there now, let's get on with the job, let's make this city of Auckland, our city, a great place for all of us to live. Thank you so much for being along here and being supportive. Now I think for all of the supporters at the back, please have another drink. If we haven't run out of the tab yet, celebrate this occasion, and I'll be with you shortly. I think we'll do a quick stand up while we've got all the media here. Right.
We'll touch the mic. Thank you. So stand up will be outside, guys, if you want to go and get set up. And Phil, you can just walk to the crowd and say, shake hands.
Okay, so we're going to do these. Are we going to do it outside?
Do you guys want to do it
outside?
Okay, well then
I think the lighting in here is a bit of.
Probably take those down if you want. Be over the side.
Yeah, you can't run this way, but then
Okay.
Yep.
And all the cameras go around. So the window
Okay. So you guys all ready to go? Hang on a second.
can we can you just move the mic?
Can we do something about that?
So we just in front.
Around here? Maybe not.
Just poke them around to the extent. Yeah. You just move them all around so they're pointing the right way.
That way first.
Oh yeah.
followed by Lino Chloe 26, Lino
It's not going to happen because it's been running for 3 months.
No, sorry, it's slightly different. 179 for me. 105 for Vic. Chloe 26. John Polino 21. And Martin Thomas 9.
Thank you.
Is that better?
Okay. Is that still too much? Right. You guys ready to roll? We'll take the questions. I'm very grateful for the results that we've got. It's a very clear mandate. And that's a mandate that I hope will assist me to support and assist me to just add to solve these big challenges. Well, I think the message is a very clear message to hello, some on 15 we have to restore the trust of it. So obviously Phil, sorry, can we answer my question?
Oh, sorry. Yeah. Okay. Have I got a mic?
No.
To just these mics here? Yeah.
Okay. So, sorry. Yeah. I didn't know whether you could hear through your mics. You've got your headsets on.
Just seeing your profile.
Okay. Yeah. No, good as gold. Well, what I've set out in the policy that I put before the public of Auckland was that we will be looking for an efficiency drive across council. That's a 3% efficiency drive. We will be looking at capping our rates on average at 2.5%. And that means not cutting services. That must mean doing more with less, being more efficient in how we deliver those services. That's really important. I think that there has been something of a vacuum in leadership in the council since this time 3 years ago, and I think that has held council back. They have done some good things on the ground, but I think that the public feels that the efficiencies that were to be created from the super city have not been achieved. People have been concerned about the level of rate increases that they've had, and they don't believe that the big challenges facing Auckland have been tackled in the way that they wanted to see those challenges tackled. We have massive traffic congestion that is approaching gridlock. We really have to start down the process of getting more investment in transport infrastructure. And we know that we've got a title that no Aucklander wanted, that we are the 4th least affordable city in the world. We've got to change those things, but we can't do that on our own. That is something that is going to take strong cooperation between central and local government to achieve.
Phil, the North...
Well, I think the CRL is a case study in how not to do it. the council had done a lot of the homework. They had approached the government 5 years ago, and it's taken 5 years to get approval for something that now the government believes is really important to do. But what that means for us as Aucklanders is that we will face more and more congestion because the city rail won't be up and running until 2023. We are getting more gridlocked by the day, yet the hard decisions that are being taken, things like light rail, have not yet been taken, and they're not even in the 2-year plan. So clearly, I have to put a strong case to central government. I've got to do my homework. I've got to get Auckland Council's house in order, but then I've got to put the case to government that the electorates that we share jointly, the people of Auckland, at more than a third of the country's population, won't tolerate this city closing down or gridlock because government at both levels has not acted in a timely way.
Mr. Goff, what's the first thing that you will do that will be a sign of what a document or two will be like?
I think the first thing will be the discussion that I have with the council officials to say that the decisions that will be made by council will be decisions from the elected representatives. We will listen to the advice of our professional advisors, but the decisions have to be those who are elected and held accountable by the public, not simply the elected representatives rubber stamping what officials put before.
Do you believe that's what's been happening?
I think that at all levels of government there's an element of yes minister, and I think that it reaches its pinnacle at local government level.
Deputy Mayor?
I haven't made that decision yet. I'm not even sure who the other councillors are who have been elected. I'll be talking to all of my councillors in the next few days, and that decision will be one that will be made purely on merit.
Is this in the budget sheet? What are some of
Well, I think it's getting an understanding on the part of council that the people who are our paymasters are our ratepayers and our residents, and the people who are our most important drivers are those same people. They are not nuisances to be dealt with that are asking for questions. They are people that we must be responsible to. And that means not simply the elected officials, it also means the professional bureaucrats. We have to have a
Phil, North Shore voters have felt quite aggrieved that Auckland Council has ignored them. What are you going to do for the North Shore?
Well, I think it's not a case of what we do for each individual area. We are elected to represent Auckland as a whole, and every part of the city has to be heard in the governing body and the chamber that debates the issues around that. I think there'll be the same issues as the rest of Auckland. I think they'll be around housing and the unaffordability of housing. North Shore people who don't believe that their kids or their grandkids will ever be able to afford in the area to buy in the area that they live in. And it'll be about transport. North Shore busway, really good, but we have to start planning for the future and work out how we can deal with some of the congestion problems that exist in areas like Lake Road.
Ms. Clough, since Auckland is such a multicultural city, and how do you make it more diversity and more friendly for people who live here?
I think of all cities in the world, Auckland is one of the most multicultural. And our strength should be our diversity, that we must be inclusive of everybody, that everybody is equally deserving of respect, and that we should be celebrating the richness and culture that each one of our ethnic communities brings to our city. I think we do that quite well in things like the Lantern Festival and very soon Diwali, but we must make sure that everybody feels that their voice is being heard in the governing body of council. Excuse me, I'll just, can I get a glass of water?
What's your response to
I think that I will develop a very good and positive working relationship with Bill English. I admire the job that he's done as the Minister of Finance in New Zealand. I understand the pressures that he works under, but what he needs to understand also, as a person who is from Southland and from Wellington, is that things are different in Auckland. Our problems are much more intensive, our problems are much more challenging, but he will know in his heart of hearts that if Auckland does not succeed, then New Zealand cannot succeed. Why do you think I said that? I'm just going to get a glass of water if I may.
I'm sorry, we got that quickly.
Why do you think he said that?
I don't know, that you'd have to ask Bill that, but I know that John Key has said that he was looking forward to working with me and could work professionally and competently with me, and that I would, as a minister, have been a very competent minister. I think central government will have confidence in my ability to govern and in the common sense of the proposals that I'm putting to them. But they will understand also that I'm not here to support Wellington bureaucrats. I'm here to advocate on behalf of Auckland, but in doing that, what is good for Auckland in solving Auckland's problems, such as the high cost of housing and high housing inflation, will be good for New Zealand as well. Because if we don't solve this problem in Auckland, it becomes contagious to the rest of the country. Auckland has to succeed for New Zealand to succeed.
Phil, how soon might you see some of the policy changes that you've campaigned on, congestion charges, petrol taxes?
Well, that's again things that have to be worked out in conjunction with central government, because it's central government that has the legislative power to introduce a road pricing system. Central government has said that they want a congestion pricing to operate because it changes behaviour as well as raises revenue. But that's 6 or 7 years out. My strong argument to central government will be that you cannot fund infrastructure development simply out of rates. We have to have a road pricing system, because a flat rate on the rates means that an Aucklander on a minimum wage is paying the same amount towards the transport system as a large company. A person that travels on the road 7 days a week is paying the same amount as a pensioner that hardly gets out on the roads, and certainly not at peak hour congestion. So I think we've got a strong argument to put to government, and I'm hopeful of the fact that we can persuade them that the changes that I've advocated for in my policy will be put into effect.
You spoke in the past about your conversations with the Transport Minister, Simon Prentice. How many of these discussions have you had already?
I've had several discussions with Simon. I find him a good minister to deal with, and I think that we will develop a really first-class working relationship. Both of us, and the future of both of us, depends on having a relationship that works. And what Aucklanders expect is not to see me squabbling with central government or central government squabbling with me, but the two of us working together to find resolution to the problems that are real problems in Auckland.
Can you just describe for us your reaction when you got that phone call?
I guess, well, most of the polling has suggested that I might win this race. There's only one poll that really counts, and that's the one where people mark their ballot papers. So I was taking nothing for granted right up to the time that I received the message from Auckland Council that I had got 47.6% of the vote. That's a strong mandate, and I wanted a strong mandate to be able to work with my council and work with central government.
How strong a mandate do you feel that you have? Because only under 40% of Auckland has voted in these elections. You're the clear winner, but the majority of Aucklanders haven't voted for you. So how do you know that Auckland's behind you?
Well, because I think that's what the message of the poll is. In every major city in this country, Christchurch, Wellington and Auckland, I haven't seen Hamilton's figures or Dunedin's yet, but the voting turnout was in the vicinity of 36, 37 to 41%. All of us would like to see that much higher, and I think if we get to the position of devolving some of the authority that central government currently exercises to Auckland as a city that represents 37% of the country's population, we'll see a higher turnout as people recognise that local government is more empowered to tackle their problems. Yep. We've exhausted everyone?
Mm-hmm. Except for the one-on-ones.
Yeah. Sorry, you had another one?
No, sorry, except for the one-on-ones.
Sorry, I've got a dance card for one-on-one, so we'll start with Connor first, and then we'll work through one by one, if that's all right. So if we just move,
Okay.
We'll just step back.
You want to come through? About 5 minutes up and second. The old days. The rules
You need your photo mic on, I said.
Oh, you are.
Well, yeah, this is the one.
and let me know when you're ready.
But, well, you keep an eye on it because we've got to be quick, otherwise I lose my place in the queue.
Well, you,
Yeah.
I'm here.
Yeah,
You let me know when, and I'll just jump in.
I think the message to council is just very clear. That on our current ratings of 50% satisfaction, that's not good enough. We have to relook at that. We have to be responsive. We need to be effective. We have to be Well, if I can persuade government to that, that's certainly something I could have that in tomorrow if I had the power to do it. The power rests with the central government. But nobody in central government has ever been able to explain to me why it's a good idea that non-residents that don't intend to live in New Zealand should be buying into the existing property Yeah, I've got a mind.
I went around.
Yeah, I absolutely.
So, Simon hangs around and
I would like to stay here.
we've got lots of guys yeah, we've got 20 minutes
I personally nominated her as the person who I spoke to if I wasn't in the race myself.